What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're continuing our coverage for the Kenobi series, as today we have a massive report coming from MakingStarWars.net, and a massive announcement and confirmation that will have many fans even more excited to see the Kenobi series as if they needed anything else in order to tune in. Previously, we reported on the fact that a Jedi youngling survivor from Order 66 was going to be seeking out Kenobi in order for training, with hopes of rebuilding the Jedi Order after the events of Revenge of the Sith. This was a huge look into the initial story of Kenobi, with Obi-Wan having to deal with the trials of yet taking upon himself another Jedi learner. After his massive failings with the Chosen One himself, Anakin Skywalker, now the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader. In many ways, Obi-Wan Kenobi is single-handedly responsible for training the greatest Jedi killer of all time, and now a Jedi killer that is hunting him directly, and now as well as this brand new Padawan, who unfortunately has found himself on Tatooine, threatening the lives of not only Obi-Wan, but Owen, and more specifically, Luke Skywalker. With this, a lot of the plot of Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to take place. However, we do now have official confirmation from Making Star Wars that another major Jedi character will in fact be in the Kenobi series. With that said though, major spoilers lie ahead, so if you do not wish to be spoiled, please click off this video, as this is going to be a big one. With that said, my friends, now according to Making Star Wars, we have the official announcement that Qui-Gon Jinn, reprised by Liam Neeson, will in fact be in the Kenobi series. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, as well as various plot points throughout the Clone Wars, we learned that Qui-Gon Jinn would be instrumental in the plot of the original Star Wars trilogy. And even though his disembodied voice, nor Qui-Gon himself, never appear, it's clear that his efforts are felt throughout the original trilogy, specifically as the individual that in large part, also with Obi-Wan, looked after Luke Skywalker, as well as the individual that would have trained Anakin successfully. It's pretty safe to say at this point in time that if Qui-Gon Jinn had not been struck down by Darth Maul on Naboo, Anakin ultimately would have never turned to the dark side of the Force, due to Qui-Gon following more the philosophy of the Force rather than the philosophy indoctrinated into young Jedi within the Jedi Order itself via the Council. Look at it like this: if Qui-Gon Jinn had been around, none of the horrible events that would ultimately take place would have happened. Anakin would have never turned to the dark side of the Force, and maybe, just maybe, Anakin, now fully realized as a true light side wielder, could have stopped Palpatine. Unfortunately though, Qui-Gon Jinn was struck down by Darth Maul by direct order by Sidious himself, and the events occurred as we now know it. In Revenge of the Sith, however, Yoda tells Obi-Wan Kenobi directly that he is going to undergo training by Qui-Gon Jinn himself. Qui-Gon Jinn learned a tactic that we learned over the course of the Clone Wars from the Force priestesses of how to return after his physical death in the form of a Force ghost. However, unfortunately for Qui-Gon, he only completed half of his training. This is why Qui-Gon Jinn never appears as a physical Force ghost and only as a disembodied voice. Although in locations strong in the Force such as Martynas, as we see in the Clone Wars arc, Qui-Gon is actually able to physically present himself to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now though, we learn that Qui-Gon Jinn, thanks to Revenge of the Sith, was actually one of Obi-Wan's major teachers, and this is how Obi-Wan Kenobi ultimately learned how to return from death as a Force ghost, as Yoda himself over the Clone Wars Season 6 arc overwent the same training that Qui-Gon Jinn had, ultimately completing it where Qui-Gon was unable to, as unfortunately Qui-Gon was killed before his training was completed. Now though, we know that Liam Neeson, returning again as Qui-Gon Jinn, will actually be teaching Obi-Wan Kenobi how to return as a Force ghost, with Obi-Wan able to continue to teach the young Skywalker beyond his own physical death. Liam Neeson has actually had a fond heart over the Star Wars movies despite the prequel trilogy receiving major fan backlash, as in the Clone Wars Mortis arc, Liam Neeson actually returned to voice Qui-Gon Jinn, so it does make sense that he would again ultimately return as Qui-Gon in the Kenobi show. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this major announcement, and the fact that Liam Neeson is reprising his role as Qui-Gon Jinn in the Kenobi series? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you've been enjoying the constant Star Wars coverage, and may the Force be with you.